poppy, grinding, no Molly, the real ones around the house, superpowers, I got powers.
Well, hello everybody. This is Cynthia with Girl Accent, where we talk all things that celebrate the loyalty, the commitment, and the support of the sisterhood. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I hope that you would consider subscribing to my channel and going back and get caught up on my other videos. Go ahead, like, share, click on that notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload new videos. So as promised, I wanted to continue on with part 2 of my 14-day journey to South Africa. I wanted to kind of share some tips, some do's and don'ts if you are considering going to South Africa in the near future. I highly encourage you, if you have been thinking about it, don't hesitate. Go ahead, get your travel arrangements together. And first, let me just say this. I want to thank everybody for viewing my 14-day journey. I wanted to share that with people, and I'm so glad, so humble that many of you have subscribed to my channel after watching the video. Many of you have made comments. I really want to thank my brothers and sisters in South Africa who encouraged me, who made comments, who shared their well wishes, who gave such kind words in their comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to stop by real quick to thank everyone for taking time out to view my video. Thank you for your comments, your kind words. I'm just overwhelmed and just humbled by the kindness and the generosity of your words. And so I wanted to continue on in part 2 of my 14-day journey and provide some tips, some do's, and some don'ts. And so that if you are thinking about going to Africa, like I said before, do not hesitate. The country is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I don't even have enough words to describe the beauty, the lushness of the countryside, the city, so modern, okay? The people, so warm, so welcoming. The culture is so rich, and the people and what they embody, very positive, and just willing to help when they can. And I just encourage you, you have to go and see it. Like I said, words can't describe it. It's just too mass. It's just magnificent. um, like I said, the countryside, the lushness of the vegetation, the various trees. I mean, my eyes, I could not believe what I was seeing. And I'm so grateful. I'm so, like I said, humble. I am so appreciative that I had an opportunity to go visit the motherland. My eyes seen the country, my feet touch the soil of the motherland, and it will always have, South Africa will always have a special place in my heart. I can't wait to go back and visit again, but I just had to make sure I make mention for anyone who is thinking about going to South Africa in the future. Don't hesitate. Go ahead, make your travel arrangements. And I am going to share some tips, some do's, and some don'ts to help your trip be memorable as mine, and more. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and provide some do's, some don'ts, some tips for you. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the do's. Okay, so I have a list right here written down so that I would not forget anything, because I want to make sure that I share with you my experience so you can garner some benefits from it when you're booking your trip, when you're looking to go to South Africa. Okay, so for me, I'm going to start with the do's, and the number one thing on my list to do's that I want to share with you is, if you can, if all possible, book your flight directly with the airline and do not use any of those travel sites. Like, say, for example, maybe Travelocity or Expedia, or Orbitz, if all possible. Nothing wrong with those travel sites at all. At all, I've used them on many, many occasions. But what I'm saying is, and what I have experienced is, if you book your flight directly with the airline that you're flying, then you'll have a better chance. In the case of a cancellation, you'll have a better chance of being able to get out on the next flight. Okay, so for example, and this happened to me, true story, right? So our flight was canceled. Okay, and if you go back in my video, you'll see, probably not even a fourth way through the video, you'll see a video that says flight canceled. Okay, so we booked our flight through Expedia and we were flying KLM, which is operated by Delta. Okay, so 4 hours before our flight was scheduled to depart, we received a text message saying, oh, let me back up just a minute. Okay, so our flight was a layover. We were going to fly from Atlanta to Amsterdam, layover for about 5 hours, leave Amsterdam, fly into Cape Town. Okay, so 4 hours before our flight was scheduled to depart, we received a text from KLM saying, your flight has been canceled from Amsterdam to Cape Town due to operational issues. Okay, so we were thinking, okay, so the second leg of our flight is canceled. They didn't say anything about the first leg, leaving out of Atlanta. So we head to the airport. Okay, we get checked in, we go through security, the whole 9 yards, right? Go to the gate. 2 hours before our flight is set to leave, we receive an actual email from KLM saying your flight is canceled, and they provided reschedule itinerary information for our new departure. Okay, which was the following, which was the next couple of days. Y'all, my heart sank. I'm like, okay, trip of a lifetime. What is this? What is this? Okay. Oh my gosh. So what we did was we tried calling Delta to see if we can get on the next flight. They had two flights that was leaving out the same day. One was leaving out at 6, one was leaving out at 8. We was trying to see if we can get on either one of those flights. Okay. So, and this is, like I said, the number one reason why I say, if at all possible, if you can schedule your flight with the actual airline that you're flying, you'll have a better chance of getting out on the next flight, right? Not having to deal with a third party, okay? You'll have a better chance. So for us, our chances diminished with getting out on the next flight, which would have been a Delta flight. Now, again, I said we were going out on KLM, operated by Delta, right? So KLM changed our flight to actual Delta flight. We go to the Delta kiosk. They tell us, oh no, we can't do anything for you because this is a third party reservation. So we were like, well, they changed it to a Delta flight. Do you have any seats available on the next flight? So their response was, the flight is sold out. There's no seats. So they said, because you were dealing with a third party, one, Expedia, because we went through Expedia to book this flight on KLM, operated by Delta. They said, there's nothing we can do. Even though KLM had canceled our flight and rebooked us with a Delta. And mind you, that KLM flight that left, that we were originally scheduled on, I saw it with my own two eyes leave out of the gate on time. Okay? And so, again, earlier I said the reason why our flight was canceled, or the reason why they told us our flight was canceled, was due to operational issues. So let me just tell you this. If you know anything about KLM, or for example, if you know anything about the issues that's going on in the Amsterdam airport, then you'll know why our flight was canceled due to operational issues. So probably I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, there was a report in the news of all of the luggage. It was a backlog of luggage, okay, that was just sitting out in the terminal, right? And people did not know who the luggage belonged to, and it was all due to because Amsterdam is a major transfer hub for European flights. So they had all this luggage, and they just didn't have the staff to properly, redirect the luggage so that it would follow the passengers. Hence, that's why I say if you can book your flight directly with the airline. Again, nothing wrong with the travel sites like Expedia, Orbitz. It's just that you'll have a better chance should your flight get canceled, okay? And you'll have a better chance of getting on the next flight if you book your flight with the actual airline. Okay, so that's the number one do. All right, you got that. So, okay, the second one I have is, okay, in the example that I just shared with you, how we were already checked in, went through security, the mistake that we made is that we left the secure area because we wanted to go talk to somebody at the Delta kiosk to see if we can get on the next flight. That was the number one mistake we made. We should have never left security. We should have stayed in the same area. So this is what you do if this should happen to you. If you already in security, checked in, you get notified that your flight is canceled. Find out when the next flight is going to leave. Find out where the gate is, okay? Go to that gate and see if you could speak with the desk clerk that's standing there. This is a lady that's standing right there when they scan your ticket right before you board. See if you could talk to that individual. I learned all of this, during my whole, travel arrangements. Those ladies or men, those individuals have power to allow you on that flight, okay? Because they know exactly how many seats are available or how many seats are left on the next flight. And so what I learned is that when you call the reservation, say for example, if you call Delta, American Airlines, okay, the representatives there have a different system whereby they could check the number of seats that are available. Okay, so when you call, the reservation desk, say at a American Airlines or Delta, and they say, oh, we don't have any more seats, they're all sold out. It's not true. Okay, so wait a minute, I'll take that back. It is true in the case of calling the reservation desk because they can only tell you what they have available. So what they're seeing in their system as far as available seats, it is true. They're sold out. They don't have any more. However, they do have seats available, okay? And that's because that system that they're looking at is different from the system that the clerks at the actual boarding desk, that their system is different from the reservation desk. And so they are able to tell you, or they know the true number of seats that are available. So that's why I say if your flight is ever canceled and you've already passed through security, you're in security, your flight gets canceled, do not leave the secure area. Stay there, find out the gate number that the next flight is going out, and speak with that boarding clerk there. You'll have a better chance of being able to be on standby and getting out on the next flight. Okay, so the next do that I have is for all of the purchases that you make once you get to South Africa, and I'm sure this is true for any country that you go to, any international flight that you go to, but I'm talking about South Africa. So any receipt that you have, any purchases that you make sure that you keep all your receipts, okay? Because if you do, you can get reimbursed for the VAT tax, right? You can get reimbursed before you leave that airport. So that's another do. Okay, that was something I was kind of lax with. I went over there and just got so excited, was purchasing stuff, and I don't know, lost the receipt, just didn't keep up with it. Okay, so that's another thing I highly recommend. Just make sure all purchases you make, Keep your receipt so that you can be reimbursed before you leave the airport. You can get that VAT tax. Okay. Another do is one of the things that I wish I had known that I know now, and which is why I'm sharing with you, and that is um, we had some time, some free time to get out and mingle, with the people that lived in South Africa. Because we were on tour, everything was sort of kind of like structured for us, right? And so we didn't have a whole lot of free time. I mean, our schedule was jam packed. One of the things that I highly recommend is either ask the bus driver, okay, for suggestions on where to go, where you can go and kind of mingle, with the local people, so you can get a better, deeper understanding of the culture, or ask the concierge at the hotel, what areas they recommend you to go. Okay, so that is another tip. I definitely, or not a tip, but a do. Definitely do that. Okay. Um, Another thing is in South Africa, they do have power surges, and that's a known common thing. No secret there. One of the things you want to do is bring a flashlight. Like when we were there, I think maybe we experienced power surge, I would say probably about altogether, maybe about 6 times, over a 12-day period. You know, when we were in the metropolitan cities like Cape Town and Johannesburg, I don't recall experiencing the power surge. But maybe when you go into more rural areas, you may experience power surge. So do bring a flashlight. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the don'ts. Okay, so I talked about, if all possible, make sure that you um, um, book your flight with the actual airline that you're flying with. One other thing I want to add to that, and it's part of don't, and that is, if all possible, um, try to plan your vacation without a layover, unless you're specifically going to spend, say for example, if you're going to South Africa and you get a flight that goes into Amsterdam, and you're going to stay over a couple of days in Amsterdam, then perfect, that works out. But if all possible, because like I said, Amsterdam seems to be the major hub for layover and transfers for European flights. Try to see if you could fly directly into Cape Town. Okay, it's a long trip, but it'll save you a headache, and it will avoid a possible cancellation. Okay. So one other thing, and this is a do and a don't, and it's a mistake that I made. Definitely buy travel insurance. Okay, and so the mistake that I made is that I purchased two travel insurances, right? And I really only needed one. And here's the thing too, is that with the travel insurance, make sure that you read the fine line. Okay. Right now, I'm currently, and I've been back from Africa for about 2 weeks. Right now, I'm currently going back and forth, and I'm getting the runaround. I feel like they're playing the 3-card Molly on me, okay? And so we have been going back and forth, you know, um, you know, uh, instructing us to call this person, call that person, call this person. We need this form. In other words, they make it very, very difficult for you to get reimbursed. And so, um, if at all possible, now purchase your travel insurance when you book your flight. Okay, um, don't buy your travel insurance with the travel agency you book your trip through, right? So, try to book it when you book your, or try to purchase it when you book your flight, and make sure you read the fine line. And one of the things you want to watch out for with that travel insurance is when you purchase the travel insurance, they will email you the plan and what's covered, right? And so when you're looking at the coverage, it'll go over and tell you, okay, like, so trip cancellation, it'll reimburse you 100% or up to 100%. Trip interruption will reimburse you up to 100%. Luggage will reimburse you up to 100%. Meals, so forth. And so they'll give you a breakout of all the reimbursements that you can expect. Okay, so, but what you have to do when you get your email, you have to dig deeper, and they will provide a link. Click on the link in that email, and it will give you a more nitty-gritty detailed description of what's really covered. Okay, so what I found was in the travel insurance, I read where it says in the plan that I purchased, it will reimburse you for up to 100% if your trip gets canceled or if there's an interruption. Okay, that's on the face of the travel plan protection that you get. But when you click on the link and you start drilling down to, say for example, trip interruption, it'll tell you what's covered under the trip interruption. Okay, so on the face of your travel plan insurance, it tells you you will be reimbursed up to 100%, right? But when you drill down, the conditions are there has to be a sickness. Okay, if you fall ill, okay, if you lose your job, okay, if there's a childbirth, okay, things of that nature. So so just because your trip is interrupted, or just because your trip is canceled, and it says on the face of your travel plan they will pay up to 100%. Well, there's a caveat with that, and that is if your trip is canceled, right, or if your trip is interrupted, it's only going to reimburse you if you got sick, if you lost your job, okay, things of that nature. So just your trip being interrupted doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be reimbursed. So watch out for the fine, that small disclaimer that they have. Make sure you drill all the way down before you purchase your travel plan. Okay. Another don't is do not purchase upgraded seating. For example, so if you purchase coach and then you decide you want to upgrade to comfort or premium, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money, right? Because these international flights, it's the same seat. You're going to get the same service. The only difference is if you upgrade to, say, premium, only thing that's going to, the only advantage you have is you're going to be closer up. You're going to be closer up front. You'll probably be, say, in the middle of a plane instead of, like 3/4 back or in the back of a plane, right? Only difference, seat, size, room, food, drinks, all the same. So now, if you purchase a first class, then of course that's different. Okay, you'll see the difference because you're going to pay $4,000 to $5,000 more for your flight. So you're going to expect to get, some room, different food and what have you. So, but yeah, do not pay for upgraded seating. It's a waste of money because it's the same seat, like I said, same service, same food, same drink. You're just going to be closer. And guess what? On an international flight, it's about 450 passengers or 450 seats on that flight. So whether you in the middle or you in the back, it's the same. It's going to be the same thing. Okay. So let's see what else I have as a don't. Okay, so I'm going to move on ahead to some tips. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying this video so far, and I hope there's some do's and some don'ts that you'll be able to utilize if you're planning a trip to South Africa. And so I want to continue on with some tips. And before I begin, I hope, like I said, you're enjoying this content. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying my channel. Go ahead and share, like, click on that notification bell. If this is your first time watching, please consider subscribing to my channel and go ahead, get yourself all caught up on some other videos that I have, and come on in and join the conversation. And so let me just go ahead and just wrap up my 14-day journey with tips and some do's and some don'ts. So I've already gone over the do's and the don'ts, and I just want to wrap it up with some tips. Okay, so one of the things that I found was that was so helpful were these soap thins, right? And they're like sheets of paper, okay? And when I tell you, these things are wonderful, right? Okay, they just, like I said, look like sheets of paper, right? They're antibacterial. They, have a nice fragrance to them. They come in different scents. I got these from Amazon. But the brand is called Bamboo, and they're not sponsoring this video whatsoever. So I'm just sharing some things that I thought were helpful. These are excellent when you're traveling, and not just to South Africa, but these are excellent anywhere you go, because you know how sometimes you may go somewhere, there's no soap. Carry these in your purse, ladies. Pull these out. They lather up very, very well. So these soap thins are excellent for travel. Also, these individual packs of Tides. These are wonderful, especially if you're going on a long extended trip, 14 days. You may be on restriction for the number of bags you can carry, especially if you have planned several different intra flights within your trip, like we did when I went to South Africa. We not only flew into Cape Town, but we flew into Durban, we flew into Victoria Falls, and we also flew into Johannesburg. So I had to do a lot of repurposing of my clothing. And so these individual Tide detergent came in handy because what I found at the hotel was that they were either out or they didn't have them on hand. So at least if you need to repurpose your wardrobe, you can wash in between your hotel accommodations. So I got these from Walmart, and I'm sure you can get these from anywhere. You probably can order from Amazon, but yeah, this is a good traveling item to pack. All right. Another thing, while in South Africa, because of and that's anywhere. You always want to make sure you protect yourself against any type of bug bites. And so my girlfriend, shout out to Gwen, my girlfriend purchased this bug guard, and when I tell you, these things work. These are the towelettes, right? And she also purchased me the actual spray. When I tell you the whole 12 days we were there, I got 0 mosquito bites, 0 bug bites. This repellent is good. This is better than the Off. So get this. This is by Skin So Soft. She ordered this from Avon. Skin So Soft, and make sure you get the kind that has the picaridin. I believe that's how you pronounce that. The picaridin in it. Picaridin. Yeah, this works. And like I said, it has a good scent to it. Depending on if you like the towelette or the spray, but works like a charm. So and this is good, even here, if you go camping, hiking, any place like that, these towelettes are excellent. Okay. Then these hand sanitizers, these are excellent for travel. When you run out of your hand sanitizer, you can pull out the hand sanitizing wipes, and you can get these anywhere. And I'm sure you could, I'm sure a lot of people, this is not anything new under the sun. I'm sure people have this right now, just in their everyday life, So, but this is another tip. Also, since you'll be traveling, 16 hours, 19 hours is a long flight. And so these personal cleansing wipes, these are excellent, for your body. They don't have alcohol in them. They're good just to kind of freshen up in between your layover, or if you, need to go into, if you're about to land and you need to go and use the restroom in the actual, on the actual airplane. These personal cleansing wipes are excellent, when you're just trying to freshen up, brush your teeth, stuff like that. Okay. So another tip is this mosquito net. When you're out on safari, okay, because you're on a dirt road, and so there's dirt, there's sand, you have bugs. This mosquito head net is a lifesaver, okay? And I highly recommend you purchase this net. It's wonderful, right? Comes with a little carrying case, and I believe I got this from Amazon. It came 2 in a pack, but it comes in this little case. You pull the drawstring, and so let me just demonstrate how this works. Okay, so so here's your hat, right? So while you're on safari, you want to put your hat on, right? And this just goes right over your hat, right? It goes right over the hat, just like so. Let me pull this up. Okay, I don't have this hat sitting all the way down on my head because I have this bun on, but you get the picture, right? So you have this mosquito net, and you just pull this push that little button in, and then it tightens it up around your neck, right? Like so, right? And when I tell you no dust, no mosquitoes, no bugs in your mouth, when I tell you this worked like a charm, you're gonna want to purchase this. You're gonna want to have this while you're on safari. Oh, I forgot to mention a couple of other tips that I have on my list that I want to make sure that you are aware of. If you're planning to go to South Africa, if at all possible, avoid planning your trip around the holidays. That way, you won't run the risk of having events or museums closed. Okay, so one of the things that happened to us is, since we went to South Africa around the holidays, we wanted to go to the Apartheid Museum, but because it was the holidays, it was closed. So we missed the Apartheid Museum, and we really wanted to go. Okay. Another tip is make sure, if at all possible, if you can find out who your tour guide is, okay, and see if that tour guide or request that that tour guide has the same perspective as you, okay? And so you want somebody who can provide you information about the culture, and also be in a position to be able to kind of align with your view thoughts. Okay, so another thing I forgot to tell you, another tip is you'll need to purchase some compression socks. So when you're in the air for 16 plus hours, you definitely want to have some compression socks to make sure that you don't run the risk of having blood clots. Okay, so yeah, get you some compression, and get you some good pair. Get you a good pair of compression socks. And as a matter of fact, when you go to purchase your compression socks, make sure you do a little research, because there's different levels of compression socks. I didn't even know that, but make sure you check that out. Okay. Yes, if you go to South Africa and you get the opportunity to visit Victoria Falls, make sure you pack waterproof pants. Okay. Make sure you pack a waterproof top. Okay, it could be like a sweatsuit, but make sure it's waterproof, and pack you a pair of flip-flops. Okay, so one of the things that happened to us is, like, I had a raincoat and I had flip-flops, but I did not have a waterproof top or bottom. And even though long raincoats were provided to us, we still were soaking wet, still soaking wet. And also bring your towel if you can. Okay, so you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. Oh, one other thing. Make sure to pack a roll-up duffel bag, right? That way you'll be able to pack your shopping items in the duffel bag, all right? And that you don't have your the items that you purchase trying to figure out room for your suitcase, right? So, because on your way back to the States, then the weight restriction kind of diminishes. You know, you could bring back more items, you'll have more weight, you know, and so especially once you're in a secure area, you'll be able to pretty much have additional bags that you could take back that you could put in the overhead, or you could even check, you can check your carry-on bag, so you'll have another bag that you could take in the cabin, okay? And so like most international flights, they allow you to check 2 bags, right? So, but because we had a weight restriction, because we also had intra flights once we got into South Africa, we had a 44-pound weight restriction for carry-on, and then we had a restriction of 14 pounds for a backpack. So on your way back, you'll be able to carry more bags, right? Or you'll be able to take more bags with you because you won't have that restriction. You'll be able to check the bag, right? So yeah, definitely pack you a roll-up duffel bag so that you can, you know, have all your items to take with you. Okay. Oh, one other thing. If you're out in the rural areas and you're touring, and if you see an item that you really like, go ahead and purchase it. So many we missed, and myself, you know, a couple of other folks, we missed items that we saw that we really like, but we were thinking that, oh, you know what, you know, we can find these same items, because we had, you know, several other stops that we had to make for shopping, and so we thought, oh, we'll find these items elsewhere, and not true. So, and they're like one of a kind items that we never saw, you know, along the way. And so, tip, if you see something you like, you know, even if you have to pay more for it, go ahead and just get it while you see it, because you may not see it again. And the last thing I have is, and this is just a FYI, the internet is kind of spotty, especially when you're out in the rural areas and you're in some of the hotels. The internet, you know, will go in and out, and depending on, you know, what type of phone you have, you may experience, you know, some delays in your connection. So just an FYI. It may not happen, but just an FYI. So that concludes my part 2 14-day journey for tips, do's, and don'ts. If you are thinking about traveling to South Africa in the future, I hope that the content that you just looked at will be helpful. I hope that you will be able to glean something, walk away with something that will help you in packing, some of the things you may consider when booking your reservation. Again, thank you so much for your viewership, for everyone who looked at my 14-day journey. And if you're watching this for the first time and you have not had a chance to look at my video, please go back, get caught up, check out my video, my 14-day journey, how I left a piece of my heart in Africa. If you are planning on going to Africa, like I said before in my intro, go ahead, don't wait, don't hesitate. Get your flight arrangements. The country is pristine, it's absolutely beautiful. The people are wonderful, the culture is rich, the landscape is absolutely beautiful. You gotta see it for yourself. No words can describe what you'll see and what you experience. And so, at any rate, again, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. This is Cynthia with Gorlax and Well, where we celebrate the loyalty, the commitment, the support of the sisterhood. And we also include inspiration, motivation, and we'll also include some dining experiences. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Bye-bye.